Am I the a-hole for not letting my husband's parents live in the house I own? I, 31 female, married my husband, 35 male, when I graduated from college, and he was well within his career. We both have good degrees and live in a Southeast Asian country. I always wanted to pursue an academic career. I wanted to pursue my PhD from a good reputable European or American university. I never got to do that. My husband decided that he wanted an academic career too, and decided to pursue that. He already has his master's, so he went for a PhD in the USA, and he was living with a very low paycheck and well beyond his means. He had some savings from working in a corporate setting, so he was able to live off of that too. I did my master's in my home country while working a well-paying job and saved a lot. We do live in a traditional household, so I was living with his parents and have no expenses. This is how it is in my country. After wedding, you are expected to live with your husband at his parents or whatever your husband allows. After my master's, I got a very good opportunity for a PhD with a really good grant. I was still freelancing, so I had good money. I came back to the country and basically had no savings, and I at this time bought a house. He was aware of the purchase and I bought it to rent it out, with no intention of moving in, and started making good money on the rent. I always wanted to do something good for my parents because my father was very poor in the beginning, but he still provided me with excellent opportunities. So I purchased an apartment, nicer than what my parents live in, and told my parents to rent their current apartment to generate more monthly income for them. My husband was not aware of this setting. Well, the cat got out of the bag, and my husband's parents are furious with me because I have done nothing for them. I give his mother monthly allowance for fun money and pay for the maid that does the housework, and my husband basically has no savings and no assets. I told him it's not my fault. Then he demanded to evict my parents, but I told him to kick rocks. He then asked me to put his name on the house deed, and I wasn't thrilled to do that either. He told me that this means divorce, and I told him we don't live in the US. I will still own everything, and he will have to pay my father the dowry he owes. His parents asked to let them live in the house I own, and it is currently bigger than what we live in. I said no to that because that will mean cutting off a decent chunk of my monthly income. I do feel bad about his situation, but feel justified in my reasoning that if I put his name on anything, I will have to share. I'm willing to share the monthly income, but he doesn't want that. I do carry his and my expenses, but that's about it. I'm willing to save and buy his parents something, but that will have to be in my name. So, am I the a-hole for not telling my husband about my gift to parents and not giving him any asset? Now for the top comments. Your husband is a deadbeat. Not the a-hole. My husband's parents are furious with me because I have done nothing for them. I give his mother monthly allowance for fun money and pay for the maid that does the housework. The apple doesn't fall far. Not the a-hole. Your husband cannot live past not being the breadwinner of the family. Please do not put anything in his name. He will transfer it or kick your parents out. You gave his parents money, so you are covered, as he did not have money when he was studying. Now that he has moved back, you still provided. He needs to earn his keep. Opie sounds intelligent, so I'm assuming she won't transfer. But just in case, 100% agree with this. Do not transfer the deed or allow his name to be on it. Not the a-hole, I think. I live in the US, so I'm not aware of any culture difference. But from what you have said, I think he should be providing for them. Yes, that's exactly it. Like, I said yes to every tradition benefiting him and his parents, so he should be comfortable with something benefiting me. I don't want to live with his parents, but as he is an only son, and we are expected to look after in their old age. My father-in-law still earns, but when he retires, I'll have to bear the cost too. Not the a-hole. It's tradition that the husband provides, so as he should, save his money to provide for his wife and parents. Stand your ground, Opie. Yes, like I only had to work because my husband couldn't afford my costs. It just so happens I was very lucky with the jobs and freelancing. They didn't even allow me to go to abroad to pursue my PhD. Get out. Better to support yourself and your parents. Your husband and in-laws are dead weight. Next story. Am I the a-hole for getting angry at my wife for getting my mom in a potentially dangerous situation? My mom, 57 female, recently came over to visit me, 29 male, and my wife, 29 female. We had dinner together, and my mom had like 10 drinks in just 2 hours. After dinner, my mom was going to drive home. but she was way too drunk to drive. I was gonna tell her to stay, but she had to go to work the next day. I wanted to drive her home. It's only a 30-minute drive, but my wife told me it was one of her friend's birthday tomorrow and she needed to get them a gift. There was a mall on the way between my mom's place and our home, so she decided she would drive my mom home and get a gift for her friend on the way. But halfway there, my wife realized it was 9:30 and the mall closed at 10. That meant she wouldn't be able to get in time if she dropped my mom home first. So she locked my mom in the car because she was too drunk, which I think escalated the situation, and went to buy the gift. But my mom got angry when she realized my wife had locked her in the car. It took my wife 30 minutes to get back. My mom began arguing with her for locking her in the car and making her wait, but my wife took it too far. She kicked my mom out of the car somewhere near the mall and drove back home. After my wife got home, she told me about this. I was angry at her for kicking my drunk mom in the middle of nowhere at night. I was more worried because our neighborhood isn't very safe at night, and there are lots of sketchy gangs of guys around. A lot of people. That's why I avoid going outside late at night, especially women. I called my mom a few times and she wasn't picking up, so I quickly grabbed my car keys and went to look for my mom. I looked everywhere near the mall for an hour and I was getting extremely worried. Just when I was going to call the cops about this, I found my mom passed out at the side of the road not too far from the mall. I was extremely relieved. God knows what would have happened to her if she was there for longer. I took her home and she woke up the next morning. After waking up, she was mad at my wife for abandoning her in the middle of nowhere. I agreed with my mom that something very dangerous could have happened to her. I told my wife she owed an apology to my mom, but she said my mom shouldn't have been so rude to her. I told her my mom was drunk. She didn't mean anything she said. But she didn't listen and we haven't talked in days. She's making me feel like an a-hole, but I feel like she shouldn't have abandoned my mom like that. Something very bad could have happened to her. So my question is, am I the a-hole for siding with my mom? I'd be filing for divorce. Not only is she drunk, but a woman she has left on the street, and your wife had no grounds to act this way at all. She's lucky that your mother is safe and that you found her. Lonely women are huge targets for a large number of disgusting events, and I'd probably file a police report while I was at it. Your wife could have waited a day to get her friend a gift instead of endangering another woman. No respect on her part at all. Not an a-hole. I kinda read more into the comment of, I think locking mom in the car escalated the situation. So, was mom punching and screaming to the point that the wife couldn't operate a car? Pretty hard for anyone to drive a car with a full-grown adult having a tantrum next to you while blank-out drunk. Mom gets drunk like this often. So maybe the wife is sick of the mom getting so drunk she has to be driven home. And this is the 97th time and this time she was punching and screaming, so it was a danger to everyone. So at this point, wife should have called Opie to come. Wife could have stayed just enough away to be safe, but also to keep an eye on mom. She was able to drive away so she could have driven away and came back. Then she would stay in the car watching her while Opie took an Uber there. Also, if the mom did this all the time, why would a wife offer to drive her? If I know someone is a violent drunk or uncontrollable, I would never offer to drive them alone. I would have asked Opie to go with me, or ask Opie to let the mom wait with him at home and let me go to the mall first. So, if she doesn't get violent all the time and it was just this time, then she probably panicked because she was locked inside a car. We don't know if she has anxiety or if she thought the wife forgot her. Your mom should not have gotten tanked, but your wife should have just drove her home. You don't leave a drunk person wandering around the streets at night. Exactly. Why would your wife think it's a good idea to leave a drunk, upset at that point, person wandering around in a not-so-safe neighborhood? How did you think your mom was going to get home? Edit. For those who are wondering, my mom doesn't always drink like that, but sometimes she gets drunk like that. My wife is currently staying with my mother-in-law. As many of you suggest a divorce, I'm also thinking about it. She could have potentially gotten my mom killed and caused serious problems. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to stop making my sister feel bad? I, 30 male, and my wife, 30 female, have been married for a year. My sister, 22 female, recently got kicked out by my mom, 58 female, for not getting a real job. It's my sister's dream to become a content creator. She has recently reached 3,000 followers on Instagram. She makes vlogs about her daily life and posts them on Instagram. It doesn't generate a lot of money, but I've been supportive towards her. After my mom kicked her out, I let her move in with us since she had nowhere else to go. And this is why my wife has been mad at me. She keeps telling me to tell my sister to get a real job. It doesn't help that my wife hates pets, and my sister owns 2 cats. She even tried to convince me to throw away her cats. My sister loves her cats more than anything. The cats also don't bother us anyway. My sister also helps us with the chores and other stuff around the house. It's not like I'm financially dependent on my wife either. I'm financially stable and make more than her and pays 2/3 of the rent. I'm the one paying for everything my sister needs. Our home is 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, so I don't understand what is the problem with my sister staying in one of the spare bedrooms. So yesterday, we were having dinner when my sister told me she just hit 3,000 followers. She seemed so happy. I congratulated her. She was then talking about how passionate she was to become an influencer. But then my wife interrupted her saying, "It's nice to have passions, but passions don't pay the bills, honey. And let's get real here. That silly little dream of yours will probably never work out." My sister was heartbroken, and she went to her room crying. I went after her and told her my wife didn't mean anything she said. She was just stressed out. I told her I have faith in her that she will achieve her dreams one day. After she was alright, I went to my wife and told her that was extremely mean, and she owes my sister an apology. But she called me a fool for supporting that silly little dream of her that will never work out. Now she's giving me the silent treatment and making me feel like an a-hole. So my question is, am I the a-hole for this? Thanks. Now for the comments. You're the a-hole. You did this without talking to your wife and getting an agreement. It seems you don't care about your wife's feelings at all. It doesn't help that my wife hates pets and my sister owns 2 cats. Yep, you made all of these decisions without your wife. Plus, his wife and mom are right. The sister has 0 chance of success. The camping-focused Insta I haven't touched since 2016 has 2.9 followers last I remember. If the sister is actually attempting to be a content creator and it's taken her this long to hit a pretty and remarkable number, and she's ecstatic about it as if it's an actual career goal, she's beyond hopeless. Subsidizing her unrealistic dream is letting her become lazy and entitled, and ensuring she'll never actually gain the skills and knowledge to be able to support herself. So not only did he cut his wife out of the decision-making process, he made some piss-poor decisions as well. Edited to add, took a look at a camping account I mentioned. It has 4.3 followers now, without any posts since 2016. I'm sure they're mostly all bots. But like if the sister is working full-time and trying to make this a career and has only achieved 3,000, she's absolutely delusional to think she has a snowball's chance in hell of making a career out of this. Adobe's doing her a huge disservice by telling her she can't follow her dream. She's going to still be there in 10 years at this rate, celebrating hitting the 7.5 mark, and acting like success is just around a corner. Yeah, 3,000 followers is less than nothing when it comes to being a content creator. Wife may have worded things a little harshly, but she's absolutely right. You can work while pursuing your passions. If I were the wife and I had not only been cut out of the decision to have her there, but my husband was also congratulating her on such a meaningless milestone, it probably would have been even harsher, to be honest. Everyone sucks here. Your wife's right. Who's gonna pay her way while she works on her dreams? You? Sounds like you'll be divorced if that's the case, and I won't blame your wife. His wife is totally right in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think his sister celebrating a milestone was the right moment. Even waiting the next day would have been better, but definitely everyone sucks here. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that his sister has to pay her own bills? My husband's sister Lee, 26, acts like a spoiled teenager. She still lives with her parents and works part-time. 2 years ago, she decided she wanted a better car. She already had a 2016 BMW. My husband took over her car payment so she could get a new car. His car was paid off, so this was the bill we took on, an extra $500 a month. I found out that he had just paid off her parking ticket of $370 because she didn't have the money and my in-laws were broke after Christmas. I told Lee she has to pay her bills from now on, or have her boyfriend pay them, that my husband is not responsible for her. She gets offended and gives me a sob story of why she has no money. One was that she just got back from a girl's trip to Lake Tahoe. I told her you will be the reason we get divorced. I said the same thing to my husband, that next time you pay any of her bills, I'm out. His family's giving me the cold shoulder, but 26? She can grow the heck up. You're not stay home. 26 is way too old to be financially dependent on your husband. I'm guessing you and your husband have joint funds. He has no right to make financial decisions without consulting you first, and vice versa. Your sister-in-law needs to grow up. Your husband needs to realize this and has to stop enabling her. It doesn't matter whether you two are financially stable or well off. He is enabling her at your expense. Put your foot down, Opie, and don't you dare lift it. Bury your foot in the ground if that's what it takes. Do not budge or let him gaslight you. Edit. I read through this again and had a thought. Is there any chance your sister-in-law may be manipulating him? It's very likely that she's taking advantage of his kindness. If that's the case, you need to make sure he puts his foot down too. Not stay home. But also, I would separate your money from your husband's, if you can. I know in a divorce it will all be divided up, but I wonder if he'd be less giving with the money if it was all his. Not stay home. Your husband needs to stop bailing his sister out. It is causing a rift in your relationship. He is enabling her and not putting his foot down. So she was paying off a BMW and then gets a new car, which costs money, while also taking lavish trips? I think not. She is playing her family for fools.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak positively of my dad and stepmother when not doing so is causing my stepsister to be bullied and excluded? I am 20 currently, but my parents divorced when I was 11, and my dad remarried Lauren less than a year later. Lauren already had a baby, Cora. Lauren was nice before they married, but after she and my dad got married, she made it clear that she didn't want me in the picture and saw me as an obstacle to her perfect family. They would almost always force me to babysit Cora. Oftentimes, they would promise I could go to see my friends or do something. Then I would be forced to cancel last minute because they wanted to go out and needed someone to watch Cora. When they did spend time with her, I was almost always excluded. For example, I was told to check in on my grandma, which I didn't mind as I love her, and help her with chores. I discovered after returning home that my dad, Lauren, and Cora had gone to an amusement park without me. Lauren claimed she wanted family only on a trip. My dad didn't say anything. This is just one of countless examples when I was excluded, and my dad never stood up for me. At 16, I chose to live with my mom full-time and stopped going to my dad and Lauren's house. Things are going well. I have a job and I'm able to stay in the area because my college is online. One night, a few of my friends and I were out for dinner when we bumped into Jacob, the son of two of my dad's friends. He and his parents were always nice to me, so we spent most of dinner talking together. Jacob brought up that he was sad he didn't get to see me as often and mentioned how the courts had forced me away from my dad's home. It turns out my dad and Lauren told people that my evil mother, ridiculous, but also Jacob had never met my mom and only knew her from my dad's stories, manipulated the courts and completely stole their custody, which is why I didn't live with them anymore. I told Jacob that I chose to leave. I shared some examples of times I was excluded, like how Lauren wanted family-only time without me and how my dad never stood up for me. Jacob was shocked, but we managed to redirect the conversation, and it was still a good night. Apparently, Jacob told his parents, who then told their friend group, which included almost all the neighbors, about how my dad and Lauren treated me. Now their friends are excluding my dad and Lauren. They found a new phone to get past me blocking them and are saying I need to talk about this with them. And we know you're a good daughter and will help end these rumors about your family. Some relatives are saying I should help them, since Cora is now being excluded by her former friends and is extremely upset about it. These relatives argue that I'm an adult and Cora is a child, so she should come first. I agree that children should come first, and I feel bad for Cora since it isn't her fault. but I still feel she's not my responsibility. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Well. If it isn't the consequences of their own actions, all you did was tell your truth. Now they have to face the music, and they don't like it. None of this is your responsibility. You're not the a-hole. Yep, as someone can't recall who once said, if people wanted you to speak well of them, they should have behaved better. Exactly this. I have never understood people who treat others badly, yet expect to be spoken of with glowing terms by those same people. Help end these rumors about your family? You already did that. You ended the rumors about your mom. Lauren and your dad made clear that you aren't family, not the a-hole. Notice it's your family when they want something, but not when it's time to go on trips. Exactly. OP can reply with, "Oh, I'm on it. I already corrected the false rumors about my family, which is my mom. You made it clear a long time ago that I wasn't part of your family. You chose to lie about mine, so I fixed it. You'll have to deal with the fallout from your lies all on your own." Next story. Am I the a-hole for rejecting all my stepdad's attempts to be given father of the bride duties for my wedding? My parents divorced when I, 26 female, was 2, and my brother, 30 male, was 6. Mom remarried when we were 4 and 8. We spent an equal amount of parenting time with our mom and our dad. There was no primary parent or one house we spent more time in. It was equal. Our dad wasn't a deadbeat. He wasn't neglectful or a bad dad by any means. But our mom and stepdad expected us to consider our stepdad our new dad. There was some pressure to call him dad or something fatherly. We resisted. My brother was grounded for saying disrespectful things toward our stepdad. After that, his relationship with our dad went from "annoyed but I'll accept you being here" to my brother constantly rubbing it in his face that our stepdad wasn't a real dad and had no kids. I never fought with my stepdad or my mom, but I never saw him as my second dad either. It always made me unhappy how they spoke, as if my dad was somehow lesser than my stepdad and didn't provide us with a real home or family because he was single. I always found it odd they saw it that way, because technically, my stepdad wasn't real family either. If we're going into specifics, I would say he was less real family than my dad. It was always a weird relationship. I never really got close to my stepdad, and my relationship with my mom was never the greatest. My mom wanted us to be a tight-knit family unit, with my dad as the outsider. She hated that her husband was really the outsider, and over time, she became more of an outsider too. We didn't trust or lean on her like we did with our dad. My brother was 13 when he started staying with dad full-time, and he never went to mom's house after that. I think if he had, he and my stepdad would have killed each other. I made a choice at 15 to live with dad full-time. My mom and stepdad did everything they could to change my mind, but it didn't work. Every year, I have less of a relationship with them, by choice. They try to make things better, but for them, that means I acknowledge them as my parents and my stepdad as my dad. He's just not. They've completely given up on my brother because he has continued to make it clear he will never speak respectfully to our stepdad. When my brother got married, it was a huge drama with my mom and stepdad. My brother asked dad to be his best man, and when my mom found out through a relative, she and my stepdad were beside themselves over it. They saw it as the most unexpected thing, even though my brother had made his feelings clear. They weren't invited to the wedding, which was the final nail in the coffin. I never went completely no contact like my brother, but I would say low contact fits better. I had intended to invite them to my wedding, mostly because a small part of me feels bad for my mom losing both kids. But now I'm questioning that because of the issue of the father of the bride duties. My stepdad wanted to walk me down the aisle or do the father-daughter dance. I told him I was doing both with my dad alone. He offered to pay for the wedding if I let him do it. I said no, and he bargained for just one of the duties and still offered to pay. I still said no. This was all done via text. When my mom found out, she texted me that I wasn't showing him respect and that I could have had a much worse stepdad. She said I never fully appreciated what a great man he is and all the effort he put into trying to be our dad. That ended in a fight because I told her they went about it wrong. Now my head is buzzing with doubt. Am I the a-hole? Should I go no contact now and be done like my brother? All this stuff is whirling in my head. But for the point of this post, I'm asking if I'm the a-hole. Not the a-hole, but your mom is the real villain here. I completely agree. Your mom's actions seem to have fueled the situation and made things much worse. It sounds like she played a significant role in creating or escalating the conflict, which isn't fair to you at all. Not the a-hole. You were gracious enough to give them an inch, and they tried to take a mile. I would rescind their invitation. Also, I imagine your brother wouldn't be happy to see your stepdad at your wedding, considering he absolutely hates his guts. I don't think she needs to worry about her older brother's feelings. He's an adult, and if she wants those folks at her wedding, he should be a big enough person to put his personal feelings aside for one weekend. I do agree with your statement. They are taking a mile. OP, it's very clear from this long history, more than 2 decades, that your mother and stepfather doesn't respect you or your feelings and really never has. At some point, ask yourself, do you want to have someone in your life who bulldozes you, disregards your feelings, and makes everything about themselves? They made choices, divorce and remarrying, and there are consequences to those decisions. While your mom may think this was the right outcome for her, she couldn't make it the right outcome for her kids. You're not the a-hole, but by continuing to have contact with them, this is also on you. You're way past the fool me twice, shame on me stage. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law I would watch her daughter if she could bring her to me instead of going to her? Okay, so I'm going to try to summarize this to the best of my ability. My sister-in-law, 23 female, has a 1-year-old daughter, and the father is not in the picture, so she struggles with childcare. She has a usual babysitter, but whenever the sitter isn't available, I, 24 female, go over to her house to watch her daughter. I also have a 3-year-old autistic son who requires a certain level of understanding. My sister-in-law's house is by no means child-proof, and recently she has been moving, making it even more hectic for my son. However, watching her daughter every once in a while is something I can manage. Recently, I was told her sitter would be unavailable until further notice, and she asked if I could watch her daughter Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. I agreed, on the condition that she bring her daughter to my house so I can keep my son content, keep up with my responsibilities, and take care of my animals. My dog can't be left alone for long periods. This arrangement didn't seem to be an issue after we discussed it, until she later told my husband, her brother, to pressure me into going to her house. I clarified again that I needed her to bring her daughter here, and once again, she agreed. However, she just didn't show up today and later told me she couldn't bring her daughter to my house, and that I would need to come to her. She even offered to pick me up and drop me off. I understand first-time mom jitters, but she has taken her daughter to sitters before. I do this for free because she's family. So am I wrong for expecting her to understand that I have an autistic child and my own responsibilities at home that I could just neglect for an entire week? Am I wrong for asking her to bring her daughter to me instead of going to her house? I'm sticking to the boundaries I set when she first asked me. Edit. My husband wasn't aware that I had already talked to her before she asked him. He is also 100% on my side and is helping me stand my ground. I was told the reason she won't bring her daughter to my house is that she's worried about her daughter getting allergies from my cats. However, she also has a dog and 3 cats. I don't live in a Better Homes and Gardens catalog, but my house is very clean because I take pride in living with animals. Honestly, my house is spotless compared to hers. Now for the top comments. Look at it this way. Are you going to let your people-pleaser tendencies make your son suffer? That's what will happen if you drag your child out of his home for 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. I could never do that to him. It's just downright not fair. Thank you for that perspective. You don't owe your sister-in-law free babysitting. You were trying to be helpful, and she doesn't appreciate it. You can't go to her house. End of discussion. I think she'll let the babysitter go because you're doing it for free. There's no reason to feel guilty. Why can't her family help? Why can't your husband's family help? Mom has a whole list of issues on her own, and grandparents are aging and unable. There really isn't much family besides us. No, WTF, beggars can't be choosers. Your husband should be on your side here. She can bring her to you or find someone else. How ungrateful. He is 100% on my side and believes she's been cuddled too much her entire life due to the situations they've faced as a family. He told me to hold my ground and not go over, and I'm having a hard time with that. I'm really trying to stop being a people pleaser. Fortify yourself on the belief that your child and their safety and comfortability come first. Since you're a people pleaser, focus on pleasing your child first. Last story. Am I the a-hole for exposing my sister for stealing from our grandparents? So I, 21 female, don't even know where to start. I'm honestly all over the place right now and feel like the worst person ever. But here's what happened. My sister, 22 female, and I have always been close with our grandparents. They're amazing people, so sweet, always taking care of us, and they keep a lot of cash around the house because they're old school like that. Every time we visit, they try to give us money, even when we tell them not to, but that's just who they are. Anyway, for the past couple of months, I've noticed something weird. After almost every visit, they'd mention how they thought they had more cash in certain spots. Like, oh, I thought there was another $50 here. Or, where did that $20 I left in a drawer go? They'd always laugh it off, like they were just being forgetful, but something about it stuck with me. Last weekend, my sister and I went over there to visit. This time, I couldn't shake the feeling, so I decided to pay more attention. At one point, my sister said she needed to use the bathroom, but she was gone for a while. I don't even know what came over me, but I went to check, and I caught her in their bedroom with her dresser drawer open. I watched her take money and shove it into her purse. I was stunned. I called her out on the spot, and she freaked out. She started saying she was just borrowing it and would put it back. I told her that was BS, and that this wasn't the first time. I could just tell. She begged me not to say anything and said it wasn't a big deal, but I couldn't. After we left, I was torn. I didn't want to destroy our relationship, but I couldn't let this slide. So I told my parents everything. They were shocked and furious, and they ended up telling our grandparents, who were obviously devastated. My sister denied it at first, but eventually when my parents pushed, she admitted she'd done it a few times. Now my family is a mess. My parents are so angry at her. My grandparents are heartbroken, and my sister has completely shut me out. She's been texting me, calling me a traitor, saying I ruined her life and blew this out of proportion. She even blocked me on social media. I feel horrible. I didn't want this to blow up like it did, but I also couldn't just keep quiet while she stole from people who've done nothing but love us. My parents say I did the right thing, but I can't stop feeling guilty. So am I the a-hole? Should I have just handled it privately with her instead of getting everyone involved? Absolutely not the a-hole. You did what was right. She could have asked for money, and they would have given it to her instead of stealing. She is the a-hole. You were absolutely right. They give us money anyway every time we visit them. She should have asked for it instead of stealing from them. They're the most loving people I know. They don't deserve that and needed to know the truth. If she wasn't caught lying, she would still be lying. You done the right thing. Not the a-hole. It will take time for her to mature. Nipping lying and stealing in the bud early in life is urgent. Yes, guilt is natural, but you did the right thing as an act of love. I just had to tell them the truth. They're our grandparents and the most loving people I know. They give us money anyways every time we visit them. They don't deserve that. Good instincts, OP, and you are right. Your grandparents are being hurt by your sister. I can even imagine that they were starting to wonder if they were losing it. I feel bad for them. Don't feel guilty. Your sister really needs to take full accountability for her own actions and the consequences. Being a thief is bad, but only being upset because he got caught and not understanding that the thievery itself is horrible shows a lack of shame and remorse. Your sister has a lot of growing up to do. Don't let her deflect her anger onto you. 10,000% not the a-hole.